Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving deep into something pretty complex, narcissistic communication. We're going to break down the patterns, the phrases you'll hear, and the psychology behind all of it. So let's get into it.
You know that feeling, right? You walk away from a conversation just completely bewildered, more confused than when you started. You're left questioning what was even said, or what really happened. If any of that sounds familiar, you are definitely in the right place.
So, first things first, let's get the foundation right. We're not talking about just a single bad conversation here. This is about recognizing a deliberate and, frankly, a pretty consistent pattern of behavior.
Now, on a clinical level, a lot of this behavior is linked to what's known as narcissistic personality disorder, or NPD. And there are two key traits here that are absolutely essential to understand: grandiosity and a profound lack of empathy. These two things really fuel the entire communication style we're about to unpack.
And this is so important to grasp. The words and phrases that are used, they aren't random. They're not accidental slip-ups. They are tools, often used instinctively, to maintain control, to get validation, and to keep you emotionally off balance.
And probably the most famous tool in this toolbox is gaslighting. The goal here is simple, but honestly, it's devastating. It's to warp your reality so completely that you stop trusting your own memory, your own perception, and you start relying on their version of events instead.
Okay, so now it's time to open up the playbook. We're going to look at the exact strategies that are used to keep you feeling off kilter and full of doubt. Now, all these tactics can feel super overwhelming when you're in the middle of it, but they really fall into three main buckets: warping your reality, protecting their own ego at all costs, and shifting every bit of responsibility away from themselves. Let's start with the one that's the most disorienting: reality warping.
This right here is the absolute foundation of gaslighting. It's a direct assault on your perception of the world, and it's all designed to make their version of reality the only one that counts.
And here's what that actually sounds like. You'll hear flat-out denials. That never happened, even when you have proof. They'll minimize your feelings by saying you're too sensitive. They'll take your words and twist them into something you never even meant. Each one of these is a tactic designed to make you second-guess absolutely everything. Okay, so beyond just twisting your reality, the next set of moves is all about propping themselves up. And, that often comes at your expense by tearing you down.
You'll see this in conversations that somehow always circle back to them, right? Their successes, their problems. They might subtly mock your job or your hobbies, or they might fish for compliments, by downplaying something just so you'll rush in and praise them. It's all about keeping that spotlight fixed firmly on them.
The third core tactic is all about avoiding accountability, no matter what. When something goes wrong, it is never their fault. That blame has to land somewhere else, and that somewhere else is almost always you.
And this quote, wow, it just perfectly illustrates one of the most powerful ways they shift responsibility: playing the victim. This comes from a survivor in a study, and it shows just how quickly they can flip the entire script. All of a sudden, they're the one who's hurt, which forces you into the role of the aggressor. You're left feeling guilty for even bringing up a problem in the first place.
So, we've seen the tactics, now let's become translators. We're going to decode some of the most common phrases they use and figure out what's really being said underneath. Ah, a classic. When they say, "You're too sensitive," what they are really saying is, "Your emotional reaction is a problem for me." See, by framing it as your flaw, they get to completely sidestep having to address their own bad behavior.
This might just be the most famous non-apology in the world. It sounds like they're taking responsibility, but listen really close. They're not sorry for what they did. They're sorry for how you feel. It's a masterful little trick to shut down a conflict without ever admitting any fault.
Oof, please be wary of this one. It's a huge red flag. On the surface, it's designed to make you feel special, like you're the only one who understands them. But the subtext, it's a chilling warning. Disagree with me, and you'll be the next crazy one in my story.
So, what's the real cost of all these words? Well, being on the receiving end of this communication style isn't just frustrating. The emotional fallout is profound, and it can be deeply damaging.
Psychoanalyst Robin Stern actually identified something she calls the gaslight effect, and it unfolds in 3 stages. First, there's disbelief. You think, wait, I must have misunderstood. Then comes defense, where you're constantly arguing your case, just trying to prove your own reality. And finally, if it keeps going, it can lead to depression, which is just a state of total emotional exhaustion and helplessness.
And the long-term damage is really serious. Over time, this constant manipulation just eats away at your confidence,
right down to the core. You start to doubt your own memories, your perceptions, even your own sanity. And that can easily lead to crippling anxiety and a feeling of being completely alone.
Okay, but recognizing the pattern is just the first step. It's not the last. This final section is all about empowerment. This is the counterplay. This is how you protect your own reality.
Your most powerful tool is a firm boundary. And remember, this is not about changing them, it's about protecting yourself. You have to state the unacceptable behaviors clearly. Use I statements to own your feelings. And this is the crucial part. You have to be consistent. A boundary that they can cross isn't a boundary at all.
Here's another really practical strategy. It's called gray rocking. So narcissists thrive on drama and big emotional reactions. By making your responses brief, factual, and just plain uninteresting, like a gray rock, you deny them the emotional fuel they're looking for. Eventually, they might just get bored and move on.
So here's the bottom line. Recognizing these patterns is the first and most powerful step you can take. It pulls the behavior out of the shadows of confusion and into the light of understanding. The question is no longer, am I going crazy? Instead, it becomes a choice about whose reality you're going to trust, theirs or your own.